Preparing sinew, ojitad. For this step you will need ojitad, mujwagan, ishkodekan. Split your ojitad 4 to 5 times. When you split this, you'll see there's a natural place for it to split, where it doesn't fray. So you split it once, split it again, grab your other piece. You kind of wrap that around your hand so it doesn't get tangled up. With ojitad, you want to burn the end. It works better than doing a knot, because a knot eventually will unravel. Why use ojitad instead of the beading thread for sewing up your moccasin? It's because an elder in our community told me to. And also because it makes sewing quite a bit easier. It holds better than the beading thread. So I highly recommend that you do it this way. Pucker sewing. Odoojibwegigiwaadaan. This step you will need your pinguegan, nagakazit, your whelp strip, piece of Odoojibwegigiwaadaan for pushing against on the table. I like to use a hair clip for holding pieces together. Your glover, jabonagan, sinew, ojitad, your mujwagan, and your ishkodekan. Find the halfway point on your upinguegan by folding it and putting a little pen mark at the halfway point. Same thing with your nagakazit. Fold it, put a little pen mark. Put your upinguegan, your nagakazit, and your whelp strip inside out, or what you could say good sides together. So what I want to see when I'm done is this. So I put it together and look at it a few times to make sure I want this on the outside, so I'm going to sew it this way. Line up the halfway points. Go through one time. This is called a whip stitch. You wrap around, pull that nice and tight. Take your hair clip, pull the web strip smooth at the corner of the pinguegan, in your little corner here on your nagakazit. Clip that. You could sew that with a stitch if you'd like. This just saves the step. All this part right here is your puckers. We're almost to the end of our Ojibwegigiwaadaan sewing. So we're just whip stitching. Take off our hair clip. If you're using a piece of bias or fabric for the welt strip, you're going to need to kind of pull that in like this. Trim it off. And then whip stitch up to that corner. Pulling nice and tight. Tuck that bias into the seam all the way. When I'm right here and I'm all the way done, I want to whip stitch around a few times in the same spot. A lot of the pressure of pulling the moccasins on and off and wearing them is right on this spot. Let's go around a few times. Trim it off with your Moccasin, leaving a little bit of the Odoojibwegigiwaadaan. Then burn it off. One of our elders told me to burn this off instead of, my instinct is to sew it, but burning it works better because then the knot will unravel. At the bottom of your 2/3 of the way down, I like to go around a couple times with your whip stitch, at least twice, so it holds that seam. Then fold your heel into a T. What I like to do is trim off 2 triangles on either side of the heel. This makes it curve really nice around the heel. That. Now I'm just going to whip stitch from one side to the other. When you get close to the corner of your Ojibwegigiwaadaan, you want to trim off this cuff to match up. So I pull up the Makizinikewin. Careful that you don't cut your Makizinikewin. And trim that off. Finish whip stitching down to the corner here. Whip stitch around a few times. them off with a little G-Tod. Burn that down. Then what I do is make a knot on the end of the Makizinikewin. Tie a bow in the front. I like to cut the Makizinikewin a little too long so I could trim it off later. Take a look at like what's going to be a good, comfortable knot for that person. And trim that off. And now's the best part, where I get to bring these moccasins over to the elder whose feet they belong to.